My next upload this evening is with regard to individuals, as I've mentioned, in my proximity that are promoting blasphemous behaviour due to trespassers onto my family unit, into my family unit. They have ignored their duties, functions, and their responsibilities. Basically, they have not furnished me with all the relevant information that I was supposed to have been told with regard to COVID. They monopolised a circumstance after 2017, 2018, when I spiritually cleansed a very dirty situation that was working from this town and that was incurring a lot of loss and damage and harm to other people's innocent lives. So there has been a lot saved as a consequence of my work in 2018 in particular, that was used and exploited for individuals that were abusing the system and abusing people's lives and gaining monetarily. So the matter I'm raising is their constant inability to respect the simple principles of right patronage, humanitarian protection, state protection, constitutional rights, civil society principles, etc. These same culprits with newbies. There's a new attempt in this entire endeavour. They've brought on a few experts that are still endeavouring on their behalf to cause further disruption to my human rights. They have improved, apparently, the condition of my child. My child is a missing person. This is hearsay, but I still don't know where my son is. And they have caused very serious offence in other respects as well. So these people have barged and bulldozed and brazenly destroyed the family unit, and they've been blasphemous as well, I might add. So it's quite serious what's going on in Tralee for any dignified, as I've mentioned, professional politics practitioners, etc., to be in any way support of what I'm tolerating. What I'm tolerating is abominably disgraceful. These people are not in any way welcome to my patronage, my property, or my belongings. They have poisoned society. They have publicised very personal information of people's private lives, and they've used their bodies to gain from an experience that originated from rape and revenge porn. So this purpose that I have is for women and children's rights and for the young women of the world. And these women that have been using their bodies, I have a very serious concern for them. They've been using their bodies inappropriately with my child, and they've been using their bodies inappropriately to monopolize the situation. And as I said, in 2019, these people that negotiated a situation that they intruded upon that wasn't of their repertoire of achievements, and that I single-handedly healed a circumstance that involved awful fraud and awful contamination throughout society, that has been healed by means of word reform, and that has improved circumstances for people's health. So there have been individuals that have been withholding the relevant facts and information, and the relevant people that have not been improving this circumstance have been working against their own better judgments and their own better capabilities, I suppose. People are more intelligent, aren't they? There have been people healing in recovery with sanity and sobriety, and there are other individuals that are negating and disrespecting this. So this is a very serious issue for all human rights activists and politicians and any self-aware individuals that are spiritually minded about the fraud in Tralee, County Kerry, that has been going on since about 2007, 2008, and that is still going on to this day. So the improvements and the progress and the positive changes that have been happening have been disrespected by liabilities in society that have no regard for royal patronage, humanitarian protection, state protection, etc., and civil society principles. So I'm really concerned what the United Nations is feeling about this matter. There are people coming in and out of my abode when I have a 5-minute trip to the shop. The relevant bodies are aware that my property is in Tubbard Hill, Ardfert, and that is an issue that I'm not in my family home and that my child is not with me. So there's awful issues being caused. I wonder, would every woman in the world or in this country be appreciative of their homes being walked into and their children being swept from them? So I wonder what women are facilitating this situation. I'm really concerned because of the simple fact that my purpose has been for education, women and children's rights, and the betterment of society. So the Honourable Government has obligations, and there have been benefits from my purpose that have not been duly acknowledged, and there have not been the obligations fulfilled, as I keep reiterating. So the changes that have come about at home and abroad are being really damaged as a consequence of the disrespect that I'm experiencing and the debts that I'm owed. It's really dangerous. Since 2006, it's really dangerous what's happened in this town and beyond. It's really serious. So I really hope the United Nations is grasping the seriousness of this entire matter. There's a child missing, and it's really sad for any child not to be in the care of his mom. And it's very sad for any individuals that would be of fraud in any sense, but particularly in the spiritual sense as a royal sacred. Any individuals that think that what they're inflicting upon me is tolerable for any human life. It's die Vergangenheitsbewältigung. People aren't learning from the past. And spiritual fraud isn't safe. And people of spiritual violence and people of all the matters that I've raised isn't safe for women's lives. It's not safe for children's lives. So there's a hierarchy of needs, and I'm really concerned that my hierarchy of needs are being disrespected by my Honourable Government. As I have a royal title, I'm really concerned about the Honourable Government not respecting my good work. So on that account, I hope the guards and the government know that there's a missing child and there's my farms and my wealth being mishandled and misappropriated, and there's blasphemy being caused in my marriage also since 2017. So I hope that everyone is respecting the health and wealth principles, and that even with the discomfort I'm tolerating with people in my proximity of very, very bad behaviour, I really hope people will empathise with how dangerous it could be if it were to happen to them also. It's not tolerable for the guards and the government to have this kind of a situation happening in any country or any situation. These circumstances shouldn't be happening. So I hope the guards and the government know the obligations as a consequence of my title and my position, role and function in the work of 2018, which was quite vast.